And that's the thing, right? Like you're talking about you don't like this. However, you guys were part of the problem why it had to be done this way.
Right. And that's why I kind of cringed every time they were asking a player about like, what do you think of the format? Because what are they supposed to say? Oh, I think the format's trash. You think anybody standing next to Adam Silver is going to say, I think the format's trash? No, they're going to toe the company line and say, yeah, it was this. We saw some more competition. Like, but again, like this was a self-created problem.
Absolutely. Hello and welcome back to the Think RBA podcast. I am your host, Hack, and my brother from another, Sir Ken. How are you doing tonight?
Sir, I don't know. After what we just watched, I don't know how I feel yet, but I'm going to wait till we jump into
we're going to jump right into it, brother. We watched the All-Star game. New format 2025. NBA said we're going to decide to remix, baby.
Did it? They remixed it already.
They definitely remixed it.
There were a lot of people who don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like we're still trying to figure out, right? Is this a hit or is it not? Mm-hmm. Is it something we should continue or should we not? What is right off the bat your take without getting deep into it?
Without getting deep into it, this was the first All-Star game where we saw defense and competition since that first All-Star game post Kobe's passing.
Yes.
Right?
The plus 24.
The plus 24 one. And when they were playing like in his honor and legacy, you know, but even that game, it only was the fourth quarter. Like we saw defense. But this one, it was like, once you got to 20 points, it was like, okay, now we're going to like step it up and turn it on. I mean, we had blocks, we had steals,
we had fouls.
We had a couple fouls. Like, I mean, there was some defense being played.
We had an uncalled.
Especially certain players like Wemby, for sure. Like, he was probably the most standout player. That was like, he was going all out.
Yep, he was.
He wasn't he was playing like he normally would.
He was playing a proper NBA game.
Yeah, he just like, I don't care if this is an all-star game. Like,
correct.
I'm just here. I'm gonna do what I need to do. So,
absolutely.
So like, yeah, I mean, off the jump, there was more defense and competition. Okay, but I still think that there's flaws.
Okay, and we'll get to those flaws. So what about you? No, I think like yourself, it needs to be tweaked a little more. What those tweaks are, we need a little bit more time to kind of digest and realize. But I think it can be tweaked a little more. I did like more defense, right? Because when you're playing to a certain point limit, and we could talk about the format soon, you kind of have to now at this point. You can't just watch it. It's not like a dunk layup line anymore, which it was in the past years. And I told you, if that's what's going to happen again, I'm out.
Yeah, you did.
I'm out.
You did.
Right? So they
changed. Are you out?
No, I'm back in, but I'm kind of like,
You're on the fence.
I'm on the fence, right? How are they going to fix this next year even better? Now I'm hoping for better. Mm-hmm. We're off to a good start. How do we take it back? So in 2020, it was fixed. Then they broke it again. They're trying to fix it. Let's see what more they do. So the format really quick. We had 4 teams, right? We had Team Chuck, Team Shaq, Team Candace, and Team Kenny, right? We had 4 teams, and they would basically, it was like tournament style, right? Up to 40, playground rules, playing up to 40, normal people on the playground play to 12, 11, maybe 16 or whatever it is, or 21. They play to 40, and first team to get there wins. And then you proceed to the next round, then you pay the other teams. The first game was what? It was Team Chuck, Team Kenny.
Yeah, it was Team Chuck. And Team Chuck had kind of like the global stars.
Yes, the global stars.
Global stars. Team Kenny had the like younger all stars.
Right.
So the Ant Edwards of the world, the Darius Garlands of the world.
Yes.
And then it was Shaq's OGs had all the older perennial all-stars.
Correct. He had the Olympic team, basically.
Basically the Olympic team. And then the fourth team, they invited the winner of the Rising Stars, which is something that caused a little bit of a kind of a consternation for some people, specifically Draymond Green, who came out talking about it. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this while we're here. So he was talking about it on the TNT panel, and he said, you know, you as a player, especially if you're like as a younger player that's striving to get to the all-star level, you kind of like bust your ass to try to get to that all-star level.
Sure.
To play, the honor to play on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And he said now, just because ratings are bad or people don't like the level of competition, now we're putting rising stars who are not all stars, giving them that honor of playing on Sunday, right? And whereas some of these all-stars would have 4 quarters to play, they're really only playing 2 40-point halves, right? Right. So instead of playing to 156 or 200, which at this point's almost a regular NBA game,
close.
To be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, what are they playing? Max of 80 points?
Yeah.
I mean, so minutes, everything else significantly down, level of competition up, but he kind of related it to, he said, he's like Air Force One. There's a bunch of different Air Force Ones. It's only Air Force One if the president is on it. And so he that was the analogy to it's all-star. It's only the all-star game if it's the all-stars that are playing. So he, along with some other people, I think I heard Jalen Rose co-sign it a little bit, or at least saying that it needs to be fixed, or they're going to have to change it again because of that, right? And because what it takes away from the actual all-stars. So what are your thoughts on that?
So like he wants to be in that arena, that prestige, right?
I mean,
and I get it. I get it. Yeah. You earned it. He also seemed like Debbie Downer, where maybe he's not happy he didn't get into it, and now you have to sit there. I don't know. It's in the Bay, right? You would want to be part of that, but again, you ain't that dude, Dre. I'm sorry. Like, but at the same time, what I say to him, my response to him is money talks. Money talks, right? If that's what the NBA deems as the right way to get their viewership up, the money talks. You can feel whatever way you want about it, but you're not generating that kind of money for the NBA. Like Steph is the real generator for money, right? For this NBA. You ain't that dude. I'm sorry. Like, it's cool. Like, I get it.
You're not him.
But money talks. And if that's the format they want to go with, and that's the format that they feel is better for them. Although I will say the thing that you brought up earlier, I think this was maybe a Twitter suggestion about
let's pause on that.
Sure.
Because I want to have a discussion about that.
Okay.
Like different. Got it. Don't want to jump.
Sure.
So, but like to counter that, right? I think I didn't take it like he was bitter, wanted to get on the floor. I more took it that he's talking about like the legacy of the game itself. So I didn't take it like that. If I were sitting in front of you, were Draymond Green right now, and I was sitting here, I would say I agree with everything that you're saying, Dre.
Okay.
Everything you're saying, I agree with.
Okay.
We should only have the all-stars. We should only have the best of the best, because we have Friday night and Saturday night to showcase other people. Saturday's supposed to be the best of the best, right? I get it, and I agree with you. The only reason we're here is because you and your colleagues stopped playing defense.
Correct.
So if y'all had played a little bit of competitive, like make it somewhat competitive, a conversation and a pact between everybody that like, let's be competitive, but not try to get injured, right?
Carefully competitive. There's a way to do it. Cautiously competitive.
There's a way to do it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you can be competitive with reducing the risk of injury.
Sure. Right.
And then we wouldn't be here.
Correct.
It would be the regular format.
And that's the thing, right? Like you're talking about you don't like this. However, you guys were part of the problem why it had to be done this way.
Right. And that's why I kind of cringed every time they were asking a player about like, what do you think of the format? Because what are they supposed to say? Oh, I think the format's trash. You think anybody standing next to Adam Silver is going to say, I think the format's trash? No, they're going to toe the company line and,
of course,
and say, yeah, it was this. We saw some more competition. Like, but again, like this was a self-created problem.
Absolutely.
A self-created problem. But also too, it's not something that is unique to the NBA.
Correct.
Same thing has happened in the NFL. The Pro Bowl used to be much more competitive. And then people were like, pump the brakes. I think especially once Sean Taylor took
that kicker.
Brian Norman, the punter from the Bills. Like I think after that point, folks were like, all right, let's just calm down. Now it's a flag football game.
Right.
But the NFL as a whole has just accepted that like we're not going to risk anybody's next season over this game.
It's an exhibition game.
So we're going to just do a flag game, have some fun, show off our skills like that. And they've all accepted it.
Right.
Nobody's looking for a more competitive Pro Bowl in the NFL.
Very true.
So in my opinion, I think that that's where we're headed in the NBA. Make it just more about skills and a lighthearted showcase of that.
So that's the thing, right? Like you have guys like Kobe, what he used to say, that the All-Star Game is a collection of the best basketball players that the world wants to see play together in a competitive way. It's the greatest pickup game in the world. That's what he used to say. And that's the expectation I have when I watch it. So when that does, and it's not met, and for a player to be part of that legacy and have those moments, what All-Star Game do you ever remember where Kobe Bryant didn't give it his all?
No, I agree. But again, the times are changing. Money, when you say money talks, the money talks on the other way too.
Absolutely, it does.
Right? First time in 20 years, Bron didn't play. Right. He had to rest for
the injury or lingering,
you know.
And Edwards didn't play.
We have some guys, I mean, obviously AD, like legit injured.
Yeah.
But Edwards played the game before the All-Star break. But lingering, I'm not going to risk it for an exhibition game. Not going to risk something bigger, right? So it's already kind of on that way. So we're either headed there or we're going to fix it.
Well, here's what's going to happen. If we get to that point similar to the Pro Bowl, then you're going to lose a lot of fans, myself included. I'm out. I have no interest to watch an exhibition. I want to see the best competitive game with the best collection of players that I'll never see in a regular season.
And I'm fine with modifications to the actual game itself. I actually would be a fan of seeing more skill related things. Right, like
you mean like the skills competition?
Yeah, like in football, like they have like the passing one with the quarterbacks, and they gotta that one's super fun. This shows off like their accuracy,
the precision,
like all of this.
Right.
I think there's tweaks they can do to fix the 3-point contest. I think there's tweaks they can do obviously to fix the dunk contest and probably create some other things that we haven't even thought of yet. I mean, the NFL players play dodgeball. And then what they do is throughout the weekend, those points are adding up. And then it goes into the flag football game. So like at the end, it's like AFC versus NFC. We do East versus West, and like culminates in a final winner. But every event is tied to points, and you know what I mean. Like, so like,
you know what this sounds like? Field day.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
In elementary or
but that was always was it not fun?
It was one of the best days of the year. It was the day of the year.
Right.
Field day. So you want a field day.
And the more
field week,
and the more events that you have, you could showcase more talent across the landscape.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother direction this can go.
Right. I mean, so as we're talking about ways to fix it, so that's a whole other direction. But there was one interesting one that I read on Twitter. But as I was kind of randomly pulled up Twitter or X during the game, and somebody said in relation to the fact that there were rising stars who were not all stars and they should not be on the court, right? That whole thing. And their response was, what they should do is they should have the fourth team be the snubs. The next group of 8 that was in all-star voting.
Yes.
All the snubs. So in this particular year, it would have been Trey. It would have been
Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox, Kyrie Irving.
Because Kyrie and Trey were the first two fill-ins, right? Booker, like, so it would have been
John Morant.
There would have been a nice squad of guys that would have filled in that next level, right?
Yeah.
And then to take it further, this Twitter X user said that if they win their first round matchup, they get to actually go on their resume as all-stars.
Agreed.
And the team that they beat loses.
Hey, now you got competition.
Now you got some competition, right? But also, I mean, just in terms of like getting back to like addressing what Draymond said, even if they didn't do that part and they just took the next 8, right? So we just expand our all-star field. It's still gonna like
the all snub team,
right? You got or take it down to teams of 6.
That's one way to do it.
Teams of 5.
Yeah, you need a sub. You need a sub.
You need at least one sub.
That's at least in case of injury, just in case.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll just say teams of at least 6 to 8. But like, yeah, just go down your list because there's plenty of worthy people that get shut out every year.
Right. Oh, anyway. Hands down.
And then after that is solidified, if there's any injuries, that would pull from the next pool of players.
Right. I love the idea. Maybe Adam should have his folks surf Twitter for these ideas, or X for these ideas.
I would love that idea because I just imagining that team coming in with the biggest chip on their shoulder. Yeah. Like, you know what? We are finna destroy all y'all.
And listen, just to be able to say I was an all-star, right? Because that adds to your legacy. And for the other team to say we risk losing our all-star. So like that's dope. It's awesome.
Right.
Are you fighting for something?
That to me is like the most,
That's pride.
as of right now, is like the biggest fix that I could see.
Oh, I love it. But
just to make it more fun.
I 100% sign me up. So there's that part of it, right? That's the fix. That might be another project, right? Called the fix.
The fix?
Yeah, the fix. So there's the All-Star, the game itself though.
Yep.
Let's talk about the game.
Okay.
The first two teams played. It was good. It was a good introductory warm-up.
It was great. Right? I loved it because immediately, like, you know, the first 20 points, it was feeling each other out. And then after that, it was like, oh, there's some defense.
Yes.
Oh, there's a block.
So I was telling Tage, like, wait till it hits 30. Once it hits 30 or gets near 30, it's on. They're both going to try to win. And that's kind of what happened. Actually, that is what happened. And then Wemby got on the floor and just kind of said, nah, I'm taking over.
Oh, yeah.
And he took over. He did his thing. The International Stars won. Team Chuck won. They beat Team Kenny. Sent Kenny back to the announcer's booth to join the crew.
Kenny looked pretty sad. But again, like,
but his class, did he? So here's my question. I guess the conspiracy. Supposedly they drafted.
There's no way. It was scripted.
It was scripted.
Yeah, because the teams were loaded in a particular way, right? You had Shaq with all the older perennial all-stars, the future Hall of Famers for sure. Like, we pretty much know that most of that team, if not all of that team, is going to be in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done.
Okay.
Several of them are already on that top 75.
Right.
Then you got, you know, Team Kenny that has like the younger all-stars with Brunson and Mobley and Tyler Hero and Garland and Cade Cunningham, Ant Edwards, even though he didn't play. Then you had Chuck with the global all-stars. So everybody minus Trey, I mean, because he was kind of a late scratch. And I don't know about Donovan. I don't know where Donovan's from. But I mean, everybody else, Jokic, Towns, Shea, sorry.
Donovan is
Siakam.
Play for Louis.
Huh?
Play for Louisville.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if he's like...
Is he American? I think he's American.
So
that was a baseball player, apparently.
You know, Wemby, Giannis was supposed to be on this team.
Yep, Kyrie was
like all the international guys on one team. Like, it was all scripted.
It was scripted. Okay.
But that's fine. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm cool with that because I like how it played out. And yeah, like you said, but it wasn't actually. I mean, Wemby brought it like offensively and defensively, but the first game it was Shea.
Oh, of course.
Shea, because he had 12, and then you know, Wemby had 6. But he had a block and a steal. Siakam had 2 steals. Like, they were playing some defense. And then the only guys that had a plus or minus, like on the plus or minus, were Shea, Jokic, Siakam, Wemby, and Trey. And Trey came in with 4 points and 5 assists in 6 minutes.
Ooh,
yeah, 5 assists.
5 assists
in 6 minutes.
And those are some nice assists, too.
Yeah, but again, only played 6 minutes. So a lot of these guys, you know, played 6, 7, 8 minutes.
Right.
Definitely was much more balanced the first time for Team Chuck. But yeah, they won pretty easily, 41-32.
And you had your second game.
Second game.
Second game
was like that one where...
This was Team Candace.
The Rising Stars winners. And against Team Shaq, which has the OGs.
The OGs.
And they just let them... What do we always say? We always say, don't play with your food.
Don't play with your food.
They played with their food.
They did.
They let them hang around. And then what happened?
Yes, almost a comeback there. Almost started creeping up. And they're like, oh, let's finish this. Let's finish this.
So they pulled away at the very, very end, 42-35. But man.
Let me ask you a question. They needed 1 point and they were shooting threes.
They were, well, Tatum.
No, Dame finished on a 32.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about this.
We
talked about this live. There on the floor, there was only 2 players that down 1 are allowed to shoot a 3.
They're allowed to shoot a 3.
And that's Dame or Steph.
Okay.
But when Tatum did it, that was an absolutely atrocious shot. Not your shot. I know he can shoot the 3.
Right.
But no. Like, he had the whole
He had
baseline.
the lane. He had the whole lane.
And you're like 6'10".
Yeah, it's an easy dunk.
Just go in and dunk it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, somebody's gonna come up to probably contest it, but
Mid-ranger.
they're not gonna.
You need one
You're
1 point.
You need 1 point.
Yeah, I got you.
Get to the line.
There you go.
Now there was the non-call on Durant.
There was a non-call.
There was the non-call on Durant.
Shade, I think.
Yeah. So
hit his arm.
But again, hey, they were
let them
scrapping.
hang around.
They were scrapping.
Yeah, you let them hang around.
So you know, I could appreciate that. But yeah, first game, Dame had 9.
Oh, not Shea. I'm sorry.
Steph had 8. Steph had 8. This is crazy. 8 points, 6 rebounds in the first game
Wow.
to go along with an assist and a steal. Yeah, they just let them kind of hang around. Very impressed with the Rising Stars.
Yes.
Of course, Castle.
Oh, Stephon Castle, man.
Dalton Connect.
Woo!
He had 8 points.
Yes.
Ryan Dunn had 8 points. Like, who was Ryan Dunn? Like, but again, this was a nice exposure to the world. So yeah, definitely shout out to the rookie team for getting there. But we kind of knew in our predictions episode, we said it was going to come down to, Team Shaq versus
Team Chuck.
The OGs versus the international team, because they looked like the 2 best rosters.
Of course. It's the Olympics rematch.
And unfortunately, this matchup just let us down.
Whoa.
Well,
hold on a second.
Let's just say, just to recap it, Team Shaq started off on a 11-1 run.
Yep.
And really never looked back from that point.
Never.
It really didn't get close.
No, it didn't.
There were some moments.
Correct.
It kind of went back and forth, but it did not get close.
Correct. And I think part of that might have been a certain someone who you have very strong feelings to. And let me say this. You're a betting man. Had you bet on this game,
I would have thrown my phone across the room. I would have smashed it.
Bro, we were having an Ken was entertaining us with his reaction to this certain someone.
We had both boys watching and they were dying laughing.
We were all, I was on the crying.
But it was like every So can we just say the story of this game should have been Steph.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Because Steph had 12 points, another 4 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals. Tatum did have 15 points.
He had a double-double? Steph had a double-double?
No. He had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals.
No. Total, though. In both games.
Oh, yeah. In both games, yeah.
Double-double.
Yeah. That's why we'll get to him winning MVP, but there's a reason why. And he was at home.
Right?
So it makes sense. So even though Tatum scored 15, I mean, Steph clearly was the story, right? In his home stadium.
Of course.
However, the real story of this game, in my opinion, is the least valuable player.
Wow.
So we had Steph as the most valuable player, the least valuable player,
LVP.
which was Donovan Mitchell.
Spider.
And this is not...
Bro.
See, I've had before. It took us a few minutes to get set up and get ready after we watched this, so I've had time to calm down a little bit
or decompress
from it. But so this is not intended to be Donovan Mitchell hate.
Okay.
However, if it's not your night, not your night. It's okay. You don't have to touch the ball every time. It's okay to not shoot the ball. First game, he was 1 for 4 from the field.
Okay.
Which was a 1 3-pointer. That's it.
Okay.
The only bucket he made in 2 games. Because game 2, he was 0 for 7 and 0 from 4 from 3. And the craziest part is he played 11 minutes.
He did.
Sengun played 0. Trey played 5. Trey played 5 minutes and still came in and at least gave 2 rebounds and 2 assists. He didn't really have much of a chance to score. I think he got 1 shot, maybe 2. No, he was 0 for 3. Sorry, but again, that was in the garbage time of this all, where they were just
chucking up shots.
Yeah, because that happened at the end. They would start chucking up shots until they needed to close it out. But again, Wemby came in with 11 points, 5 of 7. You had Shea, who only played 6 minutes. You had Towns, who played 11. Jokic played 10. Why are these guys I don't know what the rotation was supposed to be, or maybe some of these guys were intended to sit. But at a certain point, Donovan, you got to realize it's not your night. And then as it went on, it started to be every little thing, right? Oh, he went to make a move, Steph stole it.
Yep.
He went to do this, I think Dame or somebody stole it. And I was like, there goes Donovan again. Oh my God.
Yep.
Why is he still in the game? I don't understand it. Put another guard in. Clearly it is not his night, and that is okay.
I think he was trying to shoot himself out of the slump he put himself in. You're not having a bad first game. I'm going to
put a game to 40 is not the...
I'm going to bounce back.
No, this isn't the platform for that. And you're not that guy. Clearly not tonight. I mean, look, I get it. You're there repping Cleveland and LeBron's not playing, but you're not LeBron. You don't need to be bringing the ball up the court every time. Okay. You don't need to be touching it and throwing up some whack 3-pointer. Like, what are we doing? He just kept, it was like over and over and over. And the more it happened, the more glaring. Like, I mean, I will say he had 2 assists or a steal. He had 2 turnovers. He was the only one on the team with 2 turnovers. He was a -16 while he was on the floor with 0 points. It's just terrible.
That's a nice way of saying it.
So at a certain point, somebody needed to say, all right, look, let's go switch. We need to, like, if we're going to be competitive about this, we need to swap it out and let's get some energy.
I would agree. But however, not what happened.
No, it just kept going and going and going and kept making mistake after mistake and brick after brick after brick.
I mean, listen, you're down 10 points. You're trying to bounce back. You live and die by the 3, right? This is the same guy who scored 71 points in a game.
But on this team, you're not the star.
You're not correct. This is not the platform where you need to step up and try to win back. I agree. I completely agree with you.
He's not like, just let Shea,
Wemby, Jokic, somebody else do their thing.
Well, this is why the Hawks, Cavs. Like, I know the Cavs got like the best record in the NBA or whatever, but there's a reason why they can't beat the Hawks. It was just true.
Yeah, it was. I think he may have cost them the game.
He did. He shot them out of the game.
Yeah, he shot them out of the game.
And the All-Star, like, come on, bro. How are you going to shoot your team out of an All-Star game? And you're only going, and that's the crazy part. It's not like it was in a quarter and you're like, okay, I'm going to try to get my rhythm back. Like, we're only going to 40.
Right.
There's a finite
so every
end.
shot counts.
Every shot, every
matters.
miss matters.
Yes.
Every brick. And he built a whole mansion around that rim. Like, every brick mattered.
And it did.
And the turnovers and the just like lackadaisical play, everything.
Yeah, it showed. And it paid off.
It was the definition of doing too much.
There you go.
Doing too much.
Well,
I was frustrated.
So end result was that, as predicted, the OGs.
Why did Shea and Trey, like, Shea's a scorer, Trey at the very minimum, you got Wemby, who has 11 points, 5 of 7 shooting. Let Trey go in there and throw him lobs. Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah, great.
We're going to just let Donovan Mitchell brick 3-pointers? Come on. I'm sorry. I just, that one, I struggle with because I still feel like that team is better.
I do feel like that team is better. They were not utilized correctly, or the rotations were not implemented correctly.
Yep.
Especially as you know, seeing the roster and seeing Wemby coming off the bench, that too later in the game, was like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? But end result was what? As predicted, the OGs won. We had changed our predictions, I believe. Once we found out LeBron is not playing because he's a difference maker. Quite didn't work out that way. The OGs still handled business.
It was Steph, man.
Yeah, Steph. Listen, the highlight for me was that half-court shot he attempted.
No, that wasn't mine.
No?
Mine was the rainbow that with the hand in his face.
That was nice.
The rainbow with the hand in his face. Because I was like,
that was the first game.
God.
No, I like that half-court shot because he was the only one that attempted it, and it was a 1-on-1. I don't need 8 attempts.
No, he did a second one.
No, but the first one was 1-on-1. Right now, now it was like, let me see if I'm on a heater, like a heat check.
Yeah, the first one was wet.
It was beautiful. So that, for me, that was awesome. Like, just seeing, and like one of the announcers said, I can't remember which one it was. He said, watching Steph shoot a 3-pointer is more entertaining than watching someone dunk.
Yeah.
And I am 100% with that.
Especially the rainbow ones. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, he got contested.
Arc.
Well, he got contested.
And the thing still just drops in wet.
Like
nuts.
Hey, man.
So, but that's why he's the Kobe Bryant All-Star Game MVP.
Yep, MVP.
So congrats to Steph. And of course, like, no better place to do it than your home stadium.
Absolutely.
In front of a lot of your home fans.
Yeah.
So congratulations, shout out to Steph for that one.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Now, stepping away from the game itself, like some of the other festivities that went throughout these, the weekend.
Yep.
I want to focus before even going to Saturday. Another event happened today. It was the halftime show. I was very disappointed that the Jabbawockeez were not out. Because those, for me, like, that's the Bay, right?
Are they from the Bay?
Yeah, they're from the Bay.
Sure?
And they
sure they're not from LA?
I'm pretty confident they're from the Bay because most of they have performances in that stadium. Well, not in the new stadium, but in the old stadium. So maybe they're from Oakland. I don't know where they're from.
I don't know.
But they needed to be out there with all the other artists that they had performing.
I mean, did you like that performance or did you like Jello's performance?
I prefer not to watch any performance. So
I'm just gonna say, like, I actually like the Jello.
Did you?
No, not the performance.
Oh,
Performance was trash.
Okay.
But that wasn't, I don't think it was his fault. That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
So I actually like the song. Like, the song is actually kind of like
is it?
Just the general hook
I
in there
haven't heard it.
is catchy and like surprising for like, him and his story,
Yeah.
Having seen them as like grow up as teenagers from their Facebook show that they used to have to the whole controversy and getting locked up overseas and then trying to make the league and not making the league and now all of a sudden like making music, but finally make it because it has a throwback to it. It's like a throwback to
that's what everyone's saying.
Yeah, it's a big time throwback.
Okay.
The other problem is it's also got a lot of bad language.
Okay.
And
this wasn't the right platform.
This was not like for his first ever live performance.
Yeah.
Because for me, I thought, I could be completely wrong, but I thought he was trying to self-edit as he went. And he wasn't quite sure, like, do I like here? And then he would pull the mic away from certain points, and then that would just like kind of mess up the groove. I think it would have been a better choice had he had an edited version already, like
right.
Down.
Like an ad-lib type.
Right. Like have an edited version laid down that you can then do. But like to try to do the full one on live TV, TNT with 3/4 of the song being, being bad language. Like, it just wasn't, I don't think it was a good matchup, but I hope he gets, hope he gets better. How's to him, especially if he can keep making good throwback songs.
Hey, I say run with it.
Yeah.
Right? You got something good going for you, run with it.
Yeah.
Right? Make a career out of it.
Yeah.
And if that's your thing, that's your thing. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he was able to, clearly he wanted to be an NBA player, right? Fine. If it didn't work out, it's fine. But at least you found something that's a great backup or fallback plan, right? You still stay connected with the game, right? Hip hop, basketball.
Maybe one day he'll be in a celebrity.
Maybe
as a rapper.
Hey, there you go. Maybe, right? Who knows? But good for him, right? He got on a huge platform, first single. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, good for money.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was on Saturday. That performance. So let's stick to Saturday.
All-Star Saturday night.
We have the 3 events, right? We have the skills challenge. We have 3-point contest.
Yawn.
And we have the dunk contest.
Let's go.
So before we go to let's go, quickly on the yawns. Skills competition.
Chris Paul up to Chris Paul things.
What's it? The typical cheating or the modification, bending the rules. He got Wemby on board to do so.
Poor Wemby. Wemby, he looks so innocent. He's being,
his
such a bad influence.
His vet is
bad influence.
They got disqualified.
So for me, I'm glad they did because I think, again, the intent is it's a skills challenge. The intent is to come make the shot. That's the skill of the skills challenge. Not just throw the balls to the side and run to the next. That's not a skill. I could do that. You could do that.
That's a good point. It's a valid point.
But they're more likely to hit a 3 before me.
That's a good point.
Maybe not you, but me. But either way, it's the skills challenge, and you come to watch the players exercise their skills. You want to see the best of the best, and I think that also robbed the fans because Wemby's a good shooter too.
He is a good shooter,
and it kind of robbed the fans of being able to see that. But I mean, I guess good for being creative, but I think it was good.
No, I agree. I think a wasted opportunity.
It's like the whole thing is NBA. We reformatted everything because we want better viewership, and the first event that they get is what are we doing? I'm sure Adam Silver was pissed.
Oh, I bet he was.
Because even when they brought the guy down to talk to them, and then TNT tried to come do an interview, the guy was like, no, we're not doing that. They wouldn't even let Chris Paul do the interview.
And this is the guy who's the head of the Players Association.
So, yeah. So, no, I mean, yeah, that was cheap. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Okay. I mean,
hey, Donovan Mitchell won with his teammate Evans.
Yeah, but his teammate carried him. Because even during that one, I remember when when they get to the part where the wheel, they have to shoot the corner 3.
Yeah.
I remember my sister was watching and he was like, oh my God, he can't make anything. Yeah, these guys can't shoot.
Wow.
It's just because they were missing. And so, yeah, he definitely got carried by Mobley in my humble opinion.
Okay.
He just didn't have a good weekend. That's okay. Maybe he did a lot of partying.
It could be.
And I don't think that he's going to care about our opinion, as he's not gonna cry tears and wipe them with $100 bills. Like, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah.
Okay.
I still would have rather seen the dubs.
Okay. Really? Draymond and okay.
Yeah.
Well, there was that, and then the 3-point contest.
3-point contest.
Yawn success in the middle.
I was so disappointed in Dame.
Yeah, bro, we both picked Dame.
Yeah.
That should have been a runaway for him. That's what we felt like.
And he was 1 point out.
Correct.
1 point out.
Correct.
And I just...
It would have been a 3-peat.
And it was crazy because, like, I got called away during the second round. Work stuff. But in that first round, first couple guys, 12, 14, 14. Like, and again, my sister, my brother-in-law, who don't watch basketball, my sister was like, I didn't even know who the Milwaukee Bucks are.
Wow.
But all they saw was, this is a 3-point contest and nobody can shoot. That's what they left with.
Okay.
As people who don't watch basketball. That was their takeaway,
huh? Oh, boy.
It's like, and even the whole time, even D was like, Tage can do better than these guys. Other than, he said, Tyler and
Garland,
and who was the one to put up 31? It was my God, who was?
I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. I'm blanking
late
out.
At night.
Yeah, one of the guys went on fire, and I can't.
But anyway,
yeah.
He's like, other than that, those three, like, and Dame.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, they should beat the rest of like all of them.
I mean,
like that's where we were in my house.
So here's what I'll say about that, right? 3-point contest is nothing like game shooting 3.
No,
it's nothing like that. So to have that same like one, it's not 1-to-1. It's not. It's apples and oranges, because that type of shooting is completely different from game shooting.
Yep.
And the way those guys pull up for shots in a game. So that's more like that when they're in practice scrimmage and putting up shots. That's what that's more like. And it's a whole different art, because now when you're in a gym shooting like that, you're just shooting, right? You got a couple guys watching you, whatever. Here you have everyone watching you, right?
All eyes on you.
All eyes on you. It's a totally different format. You're not really practicing this type of shooting the way you're practicing for a game.
Right.
So essentially, like, the only time you really practice is for this moment, is around this moment.
Right.
That's really it.
Yeah.
So that whole thing is slightly skewed, in my opinion.
No, it's definitely skewed to like the more like the spot shooter types, right?
Correct.
Which is why you get a hero type
exactly.
that can win it, or Steph.
Like a Duncan Robinson type, right? Or like a
Kyle Korver, Jason Capono that won it in the past.
Redick, like those are the kind of guys I want shooting those type of shots. Like, yes,
common characteristics.
So Steph won it, right? Steph has won it. Dame has won it. Clay's won it. So those guys, those are like the more versatile shooters. And because we saw Dame in it,
I wanted to see it so bad,
and that would be a 3-peat.
I was so disappointed.
So was I. I was hoping he'd at least make the second round. And after that, I was like, man, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out. So there was that. Right, Tyler Hero won the whole thing, so he was this year's champion.
Yeah,
back to those characteristics you were speaking of. So
we coming back. I got something for that at the end.
Okay, and before I get to the let's go part, really quickly, we missed a very I feel like it's an important one from Sunday during halftime. Well, I don't know if it was actually halftime, but it was the Mr. Beast with the fan who shot the shot.
Yes,
right? He had to make one shot from the logo, and he was competing against Dame.
That's crazy.
And Dame had to make 3. He had to make 1.
Yep.
They took turns shooting. He kept shooting to the right over and over again. Some young kid, right?
Yep.
He said I used to shoot it when I was young. I was like, well, how young were you talking about?
I know, he looked like he was like 20.
Right. So, and Dame, he made 2. And now it was his turn.
And the crazy thing was time was running out.
Yes.
Because they had taken so long in between other shots.
Correct.
So now they're like, all right, y'all just shot after shot. And as the buzzer.
Yes.
What happened?
The buzzer went, and this guy banked it in. And he won $100,000.
Got mobbed by all the mascots.
Oh yeah, they threw him in the pit with all the money, and they were throwing money on him. Oh, it was awesome, right?
That was great.
He was getting advice from Shaq and Kenny, and I don't know why Shaq was. I was about to say, but Kenny was giving him advice and all that. It was a great, very good feel good moment, right? He won at the buzzer, $100K, minus taxes. You're gonna get that reality check real soon. Don't worry about that. But it was awesome. It was a really good feel good moment. Now, the marquee event.
It was the marquee event.
Like you say we're back. This is back. This man brought it back.
It was back.
This man brought it
See
back.
about next year, but it's back for now.
It is back for now. He resuscitated it. He revived it. And he did it a couple years for the last 2 years too, right? First three-peat
Ever.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't know all the other folks that were in it. I just knew Mac McClung, right? Former winner, 2 years in a row.
Yep.
Can make history with 3 in a row. Everyone except for Nate Robinson is the only last person to win 3, not in a row, but 3.
Yep.
So Mac won 3 in a row. The runner-up, man, he was nice.
Yeah.
Stephon Castle,
who also won the Rising Stars MVP.
So he was nice, man.
He had a good weekend.
He only lost by 0.4 points in the second round, which is
he's a Spur.
And he's a Spur.
So they got Fox, Castle, they got Wemby.
That's right. So Mac McClung, bro, this man is literally built different.
And literally and figuratively.
Yes. And the fact that I was telling Tage, I'm like, look, Dave, this is the former winner. And look at him standing next to all the other guys. He's shorter than all of them, but jumping higher than all of them. His vert is so much higher because he gets way up above the ground where he's looking at the rim. He's eye to eye with the rim. Bro, his first dunk.
Dustin.
You jump over a sedan, a vehicle. Which is
tallest part of it.
The tallest part.
Not the Blake Griffin part where you just go over the hood.
I'm sorry. No, we're not.
And he barely cleared the hood.
Correct. He jumped over the hood with a guy sticking his head out of the hood, which makes it even higher. Correct. He grabbed the ball from the guy, reverse dunked it, landed, fell, got back up, all hype, set the stage. Now, if I'm a competitor, how do I top that?
You don't.
But at the same time, how do you top that as your next upcoming dunks? The creativity behind that has to be nuts.
Well, so that's what I think. That was my first thought. But then this is Mac McClung we're talking about. And he did.
You did. Oh, he absolutely did. But my most favorite part about all this dunks, first try.
Except for the car one.
Well, he just jumped over it, right? It wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his. Yeah, the guy holding the ball had moved.
Yeah, so that's not on him.
But other than that, I mean, but he still cleared the car. Like
clearly, but everything was one attempt, right? It wasn't like 18 attempts.
Right.
It gets boring. Like you lose the novelty. Like, oh, the surprise element is gone now, and so now you're just kind of like just whatever because time's running out. No, this guy really put on a show.
Absolutely.
And he entered. Did you not enter? Were you not entertained?
Yep. I mean, second dunk. Even though at first I think people were confused with it, but when you saw that the way he stopped, he was going in slow motion in midair, and he stopped like he was just kind of like paused for a second, and it was like somebody went full speed.
Correct.
Right? It was like he was going slow motion, full speed turn.
Yep.
I'm like, how do
midair.
Like, how do you freeze your body and twist full speed the way it was?
Hey, that's called extreme core strength.
I mean, witchcraftery too. I mean, I think I just made up a word.
So you did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a word.
Like it was I've never seen that.
So this is the dunk where he came off baseline, jumped over somebody, grabbed the ball, and then decided to 360 in midair, but after jumping up, not while turning off the ground.
Right. Like he waited till he was in front of the basket to twist.
Right.
Like after he had jumped over somebody in midair, twisted. Like
correct.
How?
And then
how Sway?
But not even that. He did a 360 with a two-handed jam. Not even a one-handed jam. It's the two-handed. So this to me was the most underrated dunk. The most underrated dunk of the night.
It wasn't for me.
Because just to be able to do that though in midair is insane.
Nah.
What do you got? What's the one did you?
So my most underrated dunk was his last dunk, where he pressed it off he was above the rim, head above the rim, pressed it off the rim, and then dunked it. Like the core strength that you have to be able to do all that. That one was my most underrated because when you watch it full speed, it didn't look like much. But then because he made it look so easy. But when you actually watch the replay, off.
So I could tell you for a dunk on 8 feet. From an 8 feet standpoint, to do that dunk is easier than the 360. It's way easier to do.
Well, so I'm not talking about which one was harder. I'm saying to me which one was more underrated. So I think it was more underrated because of how like effortless he made it look. But like again, got above the rim too.
Agreed, 100%.
Like he got head above the rim. Like that's part of it.
That's yours. Mine was the other one.
And it was over somebody. But my favorite dunk was the double dunk.
The double dunk?
With the call out to Aaron Gordon, the guy spinning,
on the
person
hoverboard.
on the ladder. I'm like, I was like, what is he?
Right, what is he about to do?
Way.
Like, what is he doing?
And he did it on the first try.
Yep.
Like it was nothing.
Yep.
He timed the guy spinning perfectly. First attempt.
The way Aaron Gordon
Boom.
did. Yeah.
Like it was nothing.
No, much respect to him because he really put on a show and he didn't disappoint. 50s across the board, every dunk. Which was, I'm sorry, like, how do you not put him in a category of one of the greatest dunkers ever?
So this is where I'm at with him. He is in the category of one of the dunk contests. And they asked him afterwards if he is going to come back.
Yep.
And he said he doesn't know. It might be the last one. But if they want me back, we'll see. If I'm him, right? Again, you're still fighting this to make the league.
He's in G, correct.
Right?
Correct.
I mean, this is your chance to get immortal.
Yeah, 100%.
Come back and be the first person
to
ever win 4. Because somebody's already won 3.
Not only 4, but in a row.
Right. Like you won 3. Nate Robinson won 3.
Right.
Yeah, you were the first person to win them 3 in a row, but y'all are still tied.
Correct.
Come back and be the first person to win 4.
It's over.
The wrap.
It's over. It's over.
Wrap. Please, Mac. Please return to the Mac.
Bro, I've heard that song so much now. Return off the Mac. Right? On every short, every YouTube video, NBA is running with it.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they're getting good royalties.
I don't know. He has to come back. There's, like, if you're silver, there's no way you don't bring him back next year.
Hey, listen, money talks.
I mean,
money talks.
I think I saw something where it said that he's made like 180 something thousand on his NBA contract, 10 days in G League, whatever, and he's made over 300,000 on his dunk. Three dunk contest.
Hey, think about the sponsor. Remember, you and I were joking with each other, right? On text about like the McDonald's thing, like how the
Mac meal.
The Mac meal, it's a slam dunk or whatever.
It's a slam dunk.
Right? Like he can run with this.
Of course.
And he should run with this.
I want to see him come back and win 4.
Oh, hands down. We all do.
And especially because he does this.
And because if ratings are down,
he's a
sure bet. He's a slam dunk.
He is literally the slam dunk.
So
no, I definitely want him to come back. I'll be praying.
Yeah, no, I really hope they do. My final question to you.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna rattle off some names. I want you to give me your thought on this.
Okay.
Or your projected winner. Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, Mac, Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, all in the dunk contest. Who you got coming up?
So right off the bat,
all in their prime.
Right off the bat, I'm gonna take MJ and Vince.
Okay.
Right off the bat.
Wow, Vince.
So only because athletically, we've evolved since they've been in the dunk contest. Remember, Vince is what, 2000?
Sure.
These guys, they're like, I don't know how tall Mac McClung is, but he's like 5'10", maybe, if that, 5'9".
I'm not sure. He's probably more normal human height.
Closer to normal average height. Yeah. That's getting hops where he can have his head of eyes above the rim.
That's a good point, yeah.
Like, that wasn't happening in 86.
Sure.
Or 2000. You know? I mean, Vince Carter was what? 6'7", 6'8"?
I mean, Dwight was getting up there.
Dwight was almost 7 foot. Like, what are we talking about? They're talking about Mac McClung,
he's not on the list.
Little white kid. Like, this little white guy. So
that's why he's not on the list.
That's something I think, to me, like, athletically, if we're talking about their primes in that era. Now, if they were in like an athletic prime in this era, it might be a little different. Sure. But I also don't know what that looks like.
Sure. So you got Aaron, Zach, Mac.
I think Mac is the only one I've ever that's made it on every first attempt. Like almost not every first, but like.
Is this recency bias?
But think about it, right? What was the last dunk contest where?
Oh, I know one.
Somebody went through first attempt.
I know one.
Which one?
Zach LaVine.
He still had one
through. Everyone was
the first attempt.
First attempt, every single one, and I believe Aaron too. That one first dunk contest,
but
they both went first every attempt.
I don't know. It would be hard, but look, I gotta give it to the guy that's won 3 in a row.
I mean, you think if they came back, they could have at least Zach.
I mean,
Aaron got robbed.
I would love to see it.
That's why I'm glad Dwayne Wade wasn't a judge.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it, but I'm gonna give it to the guy who's done it.
You gonna give it to Mac? All right.
Recency bias. I don't care. That's fine.
or is this the traits that you were talking about earlier? We're back, baby, right? Is that what it is?
Call it a comeback. Look, so first of all, who would you pick?
So here's how I feel about it. So one thing before I say my answer, I wanted this to go to OT the way Zach Aaron one went to 5-4 OTs. This is what I was hoping the same thing would happen here. Didn't happen, unfortunately. I love watching the way Zach LaVine glides through there. Not only does he cover distance, he covers verticality, horizontally, all that. he's basically, to me, like Mac gets up, but Mac doesn't cover distance. Zach covers distance and the height, and he finishes with that acrobat. So that's why for me, like Aaron was a jumper, right?
But Mac is more creative.
Oh, agreed, 100%. But Zach has more style and finesse. Like Zach, the first dunk around his back, midair, reverse. Like, I'm sorry, like I don't see that distance being covered by him. He's definitely creative, for sure, hands down. Jumps higher too, his verts higher. But I love that the way Zach like manipulates the ball in midair, which these guys don't for me. So that's why like how do you jump from the free throw line, put it under your legs, and then still dunk? Like stuff like that.
No, they're definitely different.
Yeah. So that for me, that's why I love watching Zach dunk.
Yeah.
For that reason. So for me, Zach would, yeah.
Is Zach and Mac?
Zach and Mac.
Zach and Mac.
Hey, there you go.
Dunk off. Let's
Mac
go.
and Zach. Mac and Zach.
Oh, that would be great if next year all of them together.
But Zach's also older,
Yeah, I know.
further in his career. I'm sure he does.
Yeah, no. So in reference to what you were saying earlier, so I saw some interesting tweets. So first, one of the tweets that I saw on X said something to the effect of how Mac McClung, as a short white guy, has now won the NBA's dunk contest 3 years in a row on Black History Month.
Oh boy.
Or during Black History
Who's the last
Month.
guy? Brent Berry to do it? Probably Brent Berry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. At least
Not Brent Berry.
memorable to me. Brent Berry.
Brent Berry. And then there was another one, but they said something like, in the span of a week, we had a white corner get an interception for a touchdown. We had Tyler Hero win the 3-point contest. And we had Mac McClung
Oh boy.
repeat on the dunk contest. We back.
We back. You know what? It's on record. It's on record.
We back.
You got receipts.
We got receipts. We got receipts.
On that note.
That's the perfect place.
Thank you for
to
joining
cut and
us.
get canceled. Thank y'all.
Thank you for joining us.
tuning in.
We hope to be back next week.
We'll see.
We'll see you guys at Think RBA.
Peace.
Peace.